Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes. It's another beautiful Saturday morning. The three-point conversion sports lounge is back. And I'm your host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? We're doing it big today. Another great day for sports. So let your family and friends know they can wake up while they're eating breakfast, drinking coffee. If you had a bit crazy night last night, got a hangover, they drinking another beer or something like that. Whatever you are doing or they are doing, they can listen to some sports talk. And we're not experts. We're just sports fans that think they know what they're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what y'all think. But anyway, welcome back, man. I'm glad to be here on this dreary Saturday morning in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, there's so much to get into. It was a quiet Friday, but big week in sports. A lot of stuff went on. Shout out to, once again, Atlanta United for winning championship and bringing the championship back to Atlanta. I'm not from Atlanta, but because they just started, I feel a part of this, so it's great to be called a champion, and then the fact that they celebrated in style, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Magic City. So, but anyway, my road dog, partner in crime, is not here again. I'm gonna just be real, man. I had to let that joker go. He was, I'm just playing. No, he's handling business right now. He's still with us. He will be back next week, we hope. But of course, I had to. I made a call to the bullpen, see if someone was ready, and of course, he's always ready to go. My man, superstar H.O. What's going on, H.O.?
What's happening, man? Another Saturday morning. Coffee is ready. Jogged out the bullpen this morning. The rain was kind of wet, though. The grass was wet. Yeah. It's all good. But yeah, man, I'm ready to go ahead and close down this ninth inning.
Yeah, let's get it, man. This is the ninth inning.
Yeah.
Time to get it. What up, G?
Yo.
That's my engineer. That's how you do it. All right, so once again, it's a big show, man. I'm going to talk about some coaching or coaches, or as a matter of fact, a particular coach, and talk about, did a coach get disrespected or did he disrespect the team? Also, we're going to talk about who's the best player in the NBA. Who really is the best player in the NBA today? But not only that, let's talk about John Collins, the Atlanta Hawks power forward / center. Is he the real deal? He's been on a tear lately, so we're going to talk about, is he the real deal? Also, we're going to have special guest Sean Tomlinson, Bleacher Report NFL analyst. Going to come in and he's going to talk NFL with him as well. Then we got Stop It, What's on Our Mind, quick hits. So make sure you call in at 404-603-8770. You give your 3 cents. Also, we got Is This Happening Now with my man G. So he's going to give us some crazy stories. But like I said, man, it's going to be a great show. It's time to get to these quick hits. You ready, bro?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Shout out to Sharon Beats for the sick beats. So, let's first start off with, man, I don't know if you all were paying attention last night. So I get this alert. My insider, 3-point conversion insider, LA brought us shit out this alert. The Washington Wizards, Phoenix Suns, and Memphis Grizzlies had agreed to a 3-team trade where Trevor Ariza was headed to Washington, Kelly Oubre Jr. to the Grizzlies, and Marshawn Brooks and Wayne Selden to the Phoenix Suns. About 20 minutes later, I get another alert. The deal is off. Well, the deal is stalled. I'm like, why? Then it was off because they didn't know which Brooks was involved. It was supposed to be Marshawn Brooks, but Phoenix thought they thought it was going to be Dillon Brooks, but Phoenix thought it was Marshawn Brooks. So they said, we're going to call the whole trade off just because we don't know which Brooks it is. Somebody else, I heard somebody gossiping, they thought it was going to be Scott Brooks. It was a lot going on. Like, they didn't, bruh, what's going on, man?
Our stock options in Brooks Brothers suits.
What's your thoughts, man?
Listen. Well, first of all, the Phoenix Suns owner already nixed the trade to the Lakers.
Right.
For he wasn't trading Trevor Ariza to the Lakers. And he said that he nixed that trade as if Phoenix was gonna be in competition with the Lakers at some point. So he actually should have got to stop it for that. But once he did that, you kind of figured that the follow up to this, you can't be surprised.
Nah, not now.
You can't be surprised.
You get up, stop it. We're waiting for this.
Why is the owner involved in moves?
Right.
Who's the James Jones? Ain't he's the new GM for Phoenix?
Yeah, like the vice president.
Yeah. Well, why is the owner involved in the trade?
I know, man. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, Jared Jones. Jared Jones is in football, bro. You can't.
Yeah. You can't beat Jared.
You can't beat Jared Jones in basketball.
Jerry Jones is getting mad.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones is getting mad. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. So I listen. I'm not surprised. When I saw the owner was involved in all the talks and all this, and he's the one pulling the trigger, I ain't surprised. And don't be surprised if something else come up this week.
All right, I feel you, man. It was crazy. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of Jerry Jones.
Good segue.
Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott, one of his favorite players, has been fined $26,000 and 739. I'm sorry, 26,739 of them things for lowering his helmet on a hit. Now he's a running back now because he lowered his helmet on a hit. He's the first offensive player to get fined for this. He's appealing the fine right now. Now, as a running back, I was always taught, when someone is about to hit you, you bring the bang. You lower your helmet. You hit them before they hit you. Wasn't it a certain running back that said, a very special running back that said, I delivered a hit, not them? Wasn't that Walter Payton? But now you're getting fined for that?
Actually, we had a bet on the SRT show saying that if Vontae Freeman would probably be the first person to get fined for an offensive helmet to helmet.
Right. But he not on the field.
Right, but he wasn't on the field. So I'm a little bit surprised at this, though.
Because, first of all, that's his style.
I'm a little bit surprised. I don't know. Maybe they still trying to get the NFL still
and
trying
then the
to
fact that
get back.
you call it so late and he's the first, because this has been happening all year.
Yeah, this is surprising.
Do you think this has something to do with the fact that, because it got penalized for that? So do you think it has something to do with the fact that they blew that first play of the game when Dallas fumbled?
And they blew another play too. But
right.
This could stem from that, or stemming from the fact that the NFL poo-pooed his investigation. And he kind of got off, not get off, but
right.
The NFL didn't win in that case. Let's just say it that way.
Right.
And some people, this could be some residue from the case that they never could really prove. So
right.
I have no idea. It seems as if this was more individual. Anything that you do, I'm gonna come after you.
But I know we got to move on. It
Ezekiel
happened too
Elliott
late.
didn't kneel.
Huh?
I know.
You said what?
Ezekiel Elliott didn't kneel.
Yeah.
So why they coming after him?
Right.
I don't know.
I know, right? Moving on. Speaking of fines and suspensions, the Oakland Raiders wide receiver Martavius Can't Get Right Bryant got suspended for violating the substance abuse policy. So, of course, that's his nickname. We're going to deem that nickname Can't Get Right for Martavius. Like, bruh. How many times, man?
This is at least the second time.
No,
this
third
like the
time.
third
Oh
or
yeah,
fourth.
yeah.
Two in
It's a
Pittsburgh.
year. It's a year this time.
What's my man in
No,
Jackson?
sorry, indefinitely.
What's my man in Jacksonville?
Justin Blackman.
He threw his hands up like, dang, dog, like
Right.
you can't get it. Like, come on, man. Like, how many times, bro? How many times?
It's bad.
It's horrible.
And the thing, I don't know. The thing
Again.
about this is,
Go ahead.
man, I hate to say this,
Go say it, bro. We tell
but
the truth, we shame the devil.
it is always a young black man. Just Jalen Collins from LSU played with the Falcons. Once again, I mean, Martavius Bryant. We talk about Josh Gordon. I mean, we can go on and on with a list.
So, like I always say, I don't smoke. I'm not that, but I wonder what they smoking like.
And it could just
There's
be
some stuff to take
it
you
could
to
be
the moon,
pills.
bro.
It could be anything. What's the other dude who played for Tennessee from Mississippi State? The Caucasian guy. It was Matt Jones. They kind of got in trouble. He was a quarterback, then receiver.
Oh,
Yeah.
he went to Arkansas. He
Oh,
played for
Arkansas.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville
He was a
too.
beast too.
He was the only Caucasian that actually got in trouble for this that I can think of.
They kicked him out the league too.
Yeah.
He
But
was on some good stuff.
Yeah.
He
So,
might be supplying this.
It-
Anyway,
yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
probably something harder than. I mean, it can't just be weed. You don't do this over weed.
right.
Justin Blackman was.
No, he was an alcoholic.
Gordon. I'm sorry, Josh Gordon was.
With Josh Gordon, I think it was more than weed.
You think it was more than weed?
Yeah.
With Justin Blackman, he was an alcoholic.
Okay,
That's
right.
Alcoholic. You can't even be
Your
alcoholic
boy,
these days.
yeah, your boy from Arkansas, he was on some.
Yeah, wasn't it crazy?
Yeah,
he
heavy
was
stuff.
there.
Anyway.
But see, that's the only person you can really point
Right,
to.
yeah.
The other side, we got a long list.
Moving on. The Chicago White Sox acquired first baseman Yonder Alonso in the trade from Cleveland Indians for Alex Call. The Indians traded for Carlos Santana earlier this week. I know you remember that. And this probably prompted that trade. Now, Alonso hit .250 with 23 home runs and 83 RBIs. I think 2017 he had broke out and he had I think he hit like 30-something home runs or something like that. So, my question to you is, Jose Abreu, I mean, because that's the first baseman. You think they're just going to move him to DH?
Oh, he was. I mean, to me, he was already a DH.
Because I know he was hurt. Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah,
and
he was already DHing or
A few
was the
times,
designated DH, but they just didn't have nobody to play first base last
So
year.
you think it's okay?
Yeah, I mean that's that. I mean, they tried to make moves or whatever the case may be, but more surprisingly, and I'm just throwing this in, Bryce Harper is the leading candidate to land.
Everybody's right
in
Chicago.
In Chicago, not the National League, but the American League Chicago team.
White Sox. Yeah,
so if you throw that in with this, and the White Sox are a top 3 organization as far as farm systems, they could possibly have something going.
Right.
It'll be hard for me to believe, but Abreu, Harper, Yonder,
some heat.
boy.
Hey, they might just, why not get the money in? You might come to a team that's building something special.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's crazy.
I'm with you, man.
They may have to get some pitching though, for sure. They have to get some pitching.
Now, this should be a stop it. This is going to be a stop it, but this is too big to just be a stop it. Florida International running back Shondarius Phillips played the entire 2018 season, right? You're like, what's wrong with that? But he played the 2018 season, entire 2018 season, while being wanted for on a domestic violence warrant. He had a warrant for his arrest for domestic violence, but he played the entire 2018 season. G, please, can you get the stop it button ready? Because they deserve
Stop it.
The policemen deserve a stop it.
Stop it.
Like, what? That don't even make sense.
The AD head coach should be comparable for some of this action.
True, but they were like,
Well, they're going to claim they didn't know.
and what if they didn't know? I mean,
Or they didn't know there was a warrant or something like that.
And they could claim that though. But still, if you're a Florida policeman, why is he like?
You know where he is. You know his schedule. I mean, every college football player is going to have a set schedule. You know where the classes are.
Right.
You know they have practice when they go to study hall. It's not like they couldn't find him.
Right.
Bro, if you're a coach of a team or you're an AD of an organization, if you don't know the ins and outs of your players and what's going on with them, to me, you're not in a good place with the team. You're not in a good place with all of what's going on. You can just look at the Urban Meyer situation. All of that was in-house. This is in-house. You got to make sure that these assistant coaches are checking and going behind these players, making sure that all is well, off the field as well.
Let me say this and we'll move on. Do you think that they knew, and because they knew, they had something to do with paying our Florida police? Like, look, bro, can we just have one season? We ain't been good for a few years. Can we just have one season where we do well? He's a beast. Can we? And it's got to be.
What was their record?
I don't know. You know that's you.
Let me find out.
To find out what their record is. Like, if they made a bowl game, maybe it was worth it. But if they went like 4-8,
I don't know, man. But I just don't understand how you could let him play as the police, bro. Like, what's going on? Like, you okay? Why you looking that up? You remember y'all ever watch Half Baked? And remember they was doing a little steam, and you remember the policeman was in a little truck, whatever, listening, and they got high, and they forgot what was going on. Like, that's all I could think about.
oh, okay, they went 8-4.
Yeah, they were 8-4, second in the
So it paid off.
USA.
So it paid off then.
They may go. They get that's a bowl game.
That's
At least they eligible.
That's a legitimate bowl game. Okay, we'll see. Last but not least, this is crazy.
Oh, it's the Bahamas Bowl. So
That's worth the trip.
Yeah,
he can't go, but it's worth.
No,
the trip.
he's going, but he'll probably get arrested there. But after the game,
going with the anklet.
Look, after the game,
Exactly.
But last but not least, this is crazy. Man, I hate we ain't got that much time. But an unnamed executive for the Major League Baseball League said that catcher Bruce Maxwell, Maxwell was the only MLB player who kneeled during the national anthem. Mm-hmm. And you can stop the music for this. I know this is crazy. The unnamed executive said that he will not be signed due to him kneeling. He's a free agent. He hadn't been signed yet. He would not be signed due to him kneeling instead of him getting arrested, which he got arrested for allegedly pointing a gun at a food delivery guy.
Well, these folks crazy.
But he won't get picked up because he was kneeling, which is the truth. I mean, I commend him for telling the truth.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So
it is definitely crazy.
I mean, we look at, like, even with other leagues, any potential violent crime or anything to deal with domestic violence or pulling a gun it appears to be nothing compared to that, and which is nothing compared to actually kneeling.
Right.
Wow, this is crazy.
So we're going to end it just like that. We're going to take a quick break. America. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Boy, you should see some of the pictures.
Hello, I'm Rick King, and this is your sports news break. The Atlanta Falcons are determined not to quit and are looking forward to get a win versus the Arizona Cardinals at home on Sunday. It's another frustrating loss for the young Atlanta Hawks as they lost 129-108 to the Boston Celtics. Kevin Huerter finished with 19 points, and John Collins recorded another double-double with 11 points and 14 rebounds. Georgia Tech new head coach Jeff Collins said he is excited to coach this team and will install a pro-style offense which will include some spread offense and option plays. Once again, congratulations to the Atlanta United for making Atlanta a championship city once again. Make sure to follow the 3-point conversion for all your major sport news and updates. It's where the fan opinion matters.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Stay tuned. Going to be a great show.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. In this next segment, the hot topic is brought to you by Cindy Cuz Barbershop, located on Chapel Hill Road, 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Make sure you check them out. Great barbershop. You know, no empty chairs. It's welcoming. Talking sports, politics, community, unity, and no fights or anything. Make sure you go check out Dwayne Chambers. Make sure you follow him on Instagram at Simha the Barber, SIMHATHEBARBER. And also, if you go to the barbershop right now, let them know the next 2 days, let them know that Raphael sent you, Mr. Controversy. You will get a complimentary 5 minutes of Chicago Bears talk on your haircut. So, all right, hot topic. So y'all know what's been going on. I don't know if you do know. You might not be knowing what's going on, but
that's what we here for.
That's what we here for.
Yep.
So Chicago Bulls, they went and fired Fred Hoiberg. Was it this week, earlier this week, or last week?
Last week.
Last week. And they sent him along with his cup of milk. And Jim Boylan, who was the assistant coach, was named the interim coach, and saying they might even sign him, for an extension. So he came in, and I think the second game or something, they got blew out by 56 points. He didn't play the starters for the third or fourth quarter. I think a lot of part of the third quarter, and then bring him back in the fourth quarter. I mean, I wouldn't either. But you get blown out by 56. Then the next practice, he scheduled a 2-hour practice, rigorous practice, where they were like, he wanted them to do old school, like pushing sleds, all of that good stuff, right? Players unhappy about it. They're mad. So they decide to skip practice and call a 2-hour players only meeting. First of all, the practice 2 hours, that doesn't happen. So called a players only meeting. talked about what's going on. Then they, I guess, came and presented to Boylan. A lot of turmoil. After that, then you hear about Jabari Parker about to get traded on the trading block.
Yep, out of the rotation.
Did he go too far as the coach? And mind you, they're not a good team. Bulls, not a good team. Right now.
Man, it's your team, but they got good talent.
They have talent.
Right.
So did he go too far, or was he right for doing what he did?
Can I preface it by giving a little background?
Yeah.
Okay, because he was an assistant under Judd Heathcote at Michigan State. He won a championship with Houston Rockets back in '94.
Right.
I think back to back. Yeah, he won. He was on both teams, and he also won another NBA championship with the San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at his coaching tree, Heathcote, Tom Jonovich, and Pops.
Right.
I would think that you would have learned a better approach to kind of get the attention of players.
Right.
In a players' league. Maybe this was a little offbeat to try to garner some attention. But you got to think, look at the roster. The roster are full of young guys. I mean, you three decades in between. They can't relate to that. So I'm not gonna say right or wrong, but you have to observe the situation first. If you're trying to get the team's attention, which is the best method, understanding the type of young guys you have on the team, and then you figure out how to do it that way. But I think you've already lost the team.
Here's my take on it. He's been on the bench, right? He was there. And you see how this team is. So he's seen and saw the laziness, the non-effort, I should say. They're not giving that much effort, the horrible effort, I'll say.
Right.
No continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Even when the young rookie, I said this before, when the young rookie has to step up and say something about the way we're breaking out of breaks and it's not.
Yeah, talking about Wendell Carter.
Yeah, and Wendell Carter, I'm sorry, when I was talking about. But when you have a rookie coming out saying that, that's not good. So he saw all this. He witnessed all of this. So he comes in. So I wonder, was he this way all along, but he just couldn't come in and because he wasn't the coach? And it was just like, when I get my chance. Because maybe they needed it, like you said. But then again, the approach. But do they know he's this fiery guy?
I mean, they should know because he was the assistant.
Right.
So the players should have as knowledgeable a relationship with the head coach as they do with the assistants, with the trainers, with any quality control, the video coordinator, all that. They know all these people and what kind of people they are because they're going to be around them for 8-9 months out of the year.
Right.
So I think the players knew what kind of personality he was, but as far as his approach, it looks like it blindsided them because he wants to have 2.5-hour practices. You know, he's coming in guns blazing, shock and awe, all that. And the players they weren't ready for that, and
right.
it appears they weren't here for it, except for, I think, as the story that I read, Robin Lopez and Lauri Markkanen were like, hey, guys, we should go to practice. We have to practice. But the rest of the team seems to be like, we're not doing it.
Oh, brother, I understand why you would say that. Now, let me stop. But
now this is right up. This is right up Jimmy Butler's alley.
Yeah.
This is right up his alley.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
He probably wanted Boylan to be the coach after Tibbs was fired.
So right up his alley.
Right. So the players, are they being disrespectful for what they did
Or didn't do.
Right. But as far as saying, look, we're not coming to practice, we're holding this players only meeting.
Well, I mean, they went to the union about this, and I think in the culture of like, we have to rest the players, we have to keep them as fresh as possible to get through this season, and all the things that players have to do as far as taking care of their bodies. They felt like this was going to, I think if they felt it was going to hurt them in the long run, so they had to, like, hey, we can't have this. And I know with the union, there are probably like parameters as far as, we can't have, this is the maximum of time we can practice. This is the maximum time we will practice in a month or in a week or whatever. Right. So they felt like it was pushing the boundaries of the CBA.
And I understand where they're coming from, but I'll be real. I understand where Coach coming from. Because if you see this and you see what's going on, now, yes, maybe we need to come to an understanding. We need to talk about it, but this is why y'all losing.
They need to have a meeting to discuss this. Like, this is what I expect from you, because Fred Hoiberg was fired last week, so they have another 4 months to go in the season. This is what I expect from you.
Right.
And if he's already got the okay from the front office, they're going to commit to him beyond this season.
Right.
Then he has the confidence and or authority to do all this stuff. But the key thing is, he didn't communicate that to the team. He just started doing it.
That's what I'm saying with the approach. But let's talk about this. This is your team, and let me throw another angle at you. You tell me what you think. Can we just go on top and say this is sort of like management hiring Hoiberg? You put this situation and it exploded, because actually Hoiberg shouldn't have been
he shouldn't have been coached. Yeah.
And this is probably something that they was used to for the last 2 years, running over the coach, not respecting the coach, or whatever the case may be. So this is what you get. They already was programmed to not practice or whatever the case may be, because it was okay.
Right.
So when Boylan comes in, he wants to do the total opposite. But they've already been conditioned one way, because you already hired Hoiberg, and now you're trying to promote somebody within, and he's trying to do the total opposite. Everybody, I'm with G. Communicate this. Let's see where we need to go with this, instead of just being Sergeant Carter or whatever the case may be and say, we gonna do it like this. And you just surprise everybody, and now everybody up in arms. And as like LA said, they went with the HR. He went to HR.
But you got to understand, though, again, you went from a practice where during practice, so the first 20, 30 minutes of practice you're practicing, and then the last 20, 30 minutes, we're talking about Hoiberg now, you're eating cookies and drinking milk, sitting Indian style, to now you have this guy, like you said, Sergeant, come in and like, look,
exactly,
this is what we're going to do.
Right.
I need suicides. I need this and that. No questions. I mean, so I understand it, but I think it's needed. And I think that they need to all have a talk, and management needs to come down, back the coach up which I think they will. And Boylan said, okay, maybe I came off too hard. Cause in a way it's like, dang, dog, you just, well, I was about to say something. Bro, you just start coaching 2 minutes ago, and now you want to come in and, no, it ain't like that.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I see what the coach sees. So I think that it's to the point where, look, this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, we can put you on the trading block as well. But I believe in y'all, and I see, and then he can talk to the days of San Antonio and Houston.
Right, and you see management haven't stepped in because they feel like they're culpable for putting him in this situation anyway.
Right.
And
But like it's a players' league. He has to build up that
equity
with the players
in order to do this.
Right.
Build your equity up first.
I'm with that.
Build your equity
you
up
just
first.
can't come in.
You can't have a mutiny in your first week on the job. You never coach again.
Oh, Matt down.
I'm trying to think what movie he watched that he thought he could.
He probably watched Coach Carter because he made them run suicides first day after. It's like, let's see how many suicides you could do in an hour.
Exactly.
That joke was like, oh man, that'd be a good idea.
Jabbar Parker is the dude he kicked out the team.
All right, man. Look, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3 Point Conversion Radio.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kent Bazemore from the Atlanta Hawks. You're now listening to 3 Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Well, LAFU, so they went to HR.
Hey, I wonder if he is LA any kin of Snoop.
I don't know. We keep asking him that. I don't know. I gotta see what he said. So.
Yeah, most folks be like, yeah, that's my cousin.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that's my cousin, man, on my sister, mama, grandmama's side.
I think that's how it is in my family. Like, we're related to Snoop somehow.
Oh, really?
I just think it's a myth.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving to Christmas conversations.
Pretty much.
Must be claiming him, never met him. That's my cousin. No. Anyway, it is NFL Huddle. It's time to talk NFL football, you all. And of course, I got my main man, NFL analyst for Bleacher Report, Mr. Sean G. Tomlinson, I'm sorry. What's up, Sean? I got to add the G, huh?
Yeah, you gotta throw the OG in there. Yeah,
yes, sir.
I'm the original Sean Tomlinson, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, doing well, man. It's holiday season here. Home Alone's on your TV 9 times a day. Can't complain. And football's getting. There's football on Saturday today. Is that weird? I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, and they always do this. Nothing against Saturday football, because anytime football is on, I love it.
Right.
But it just seemed like when football is on Saturdays, on the NFL, you got the Cleveland Browns playing the Winnipeg Jets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Right.
As a Canadian, I really appreciate the crossover there. But what gets me actually is the Thursday Night Football Saturday edition.
Right.
No, you can't do that, guys. You can't just mess with the days of the week like that.
So, Sean, I think what you're saying is Can we get a stop at? Sean is trying to give the NFL a stop it for that for saying Thursday night football on Saturday.
Stop it.
Right. We just had Thursday night football, right?
Right.
I'm with you, Sean. I'm with you, man.
It just we have certain rules or else society breaks down. We can't mess with the days of the week.
makes sense. All right, Sean. So let's get to it, man. My question: going into this postseason, I mean, it's a feeling. Or do you have the same feeling where it's like it's up in the air? And when I mean up in the air, because you have so many teams. I mean, it's like 4-5 teams right now that could possibly play in the Super Bowl, legitimate for real. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I will get about 75% of the way to agreeing with you on that. Yeah, because it feels like there's a super top tier, like Chiefs, Rams, and they are, to me, that's the juggernaut teams, right? And then maybe a notch below that, you've got the teams that, if they're really firing on any given week, they can, obviously the Bears beat the Rams, right? And the Chargers are finally putting together a full season when they haven't face planted yet. You feel like that's coming, but here they are knocking off the Chiefs and doing it with some flair. So, I think there are some teams. There is that tier of really elite teams, and these, with the Rams and Chiefs, especially that, the numbers offensively we're seeing and putting up, and the ingenuity of McVay and Reed and yes, with the Bears with Nagy too. It's really exciting, and it's given a lot of energy to the game and to this season. So yeah, I think that a lot certainly can happen, and in this postseason there's a lot of upset potential, but there's also the potential of there's going to be one really bad wild card game. Sorry to burst your bubble here.
Yeah,
there's going to be a Titans or Dolphins. We're going to have to watch them, and that's always the case. There's always one that has a really bad odor to it, but there's been recent years when that whole wild card weekend's been a disaster, and I don't think that's going to happen.
But wait, quickly, are you discounting the Saints and New England? Because when I say four, those are my four. That's like Chiefs, Rams, New Orleans, and New England. Then you got Chargers, Chicago. But that's why I'm saying 4 or 5.
I apologize. I just had a newborn, so maybe my brain's a bit melted. I certainly should have included the Saints there. They're absolutely, and there are just so many weapons that Drew Brees can use. Yes, obviously we think about Kamara and Michael Thomas, but all of a sudden, Taysom Hill. Let's have him running around the corner and throwing, and it just seems like he's pulling receivers out of nowhere every week. And if they're playing at home, and they very well could be throughout the playoffs, that is just terrifying.
Hey, Sean, it's Horace. As much as I want to ask you about R.J. Barrett, Raphael told me to keep it with the football, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it with the football real quick. As well as Andrew Luck has been playing this year, and obviously he's probably going to win Comeback Player of the Year. Are you yourself ready to say he's back to being top 5 or top 10 quarterback in this league?
I mean, I definitely top 10. I'm not. I guess I'm not quite ready to go to top 5 yet, but he's really ready to bang on that door.
Right.
I mean, he's and it's good to see, because in the not so distant past, he was the young quarterback, capital THE that we all put on that pedestal, and rightfully so. He's a guy that, again, made a lot of money at a very young age, and he deserved every penny. And then he just, he kept getting just demolished behind horrible offensive lines.
Right.
And the Colts team, the Colts team construction made that happen, and eventually he broke down, and he left the league for about a year and a half, and now he's got tremendous arm strength, very accurate deep downfield, and I think we often overlook how well he runs. I mean, I feel like sort of Aaron Rodgers too a couple of years ago. I mean, that's just sort of like he can run for like 400 yards a year and do that too. So the Colts are right in there with those teams, sort of in that kind of second tier of the AFC. That's an interesting divisional battle they're in too. I would much rather see them than the Titans, but it could come down to if you recall, there was that 2-point play at the end of the game. I forget what week that was, but it didn't work out, and I don't mind taking that shot at all, especially in a season when you don't expect your team to win a Super Bowl. But yeah, Andrew Luck's been terrific.
All right, and once again, we're here live with NFL analyst from Bleacher Report, Sean Tomlinson, and you can follow him on Twitter at Sean G. Tomlinson. The G stands for Good God. So, Sean, as much as offense has been a staple of the NFL this season with the points and everything, will defense still become a major factor and help win the Super Bowl?
If it involves the Chicago Bears, absolutely. I mean, what Vic Fangio is doing with that unit and the schemes he's running, and there's always something different, a different look they're getting, constant manipulation, dropping players in cover that just simply shouldn't be there. Eddie Jackson's having a terrific year. And obviously, the Khalil Mack trade is it's worked out pretty well. In a league right now and in an era where there are multiple teams that can just strut to 30 points a game, it feels like the Bears are making teams work for it, and you just don't see that right now. But aside from that, I actually think back to that the Chiefs-Rams game. I think defense can show up in a way that we're not used to it showing up. Like we think about points, and I just did a second ago. In that game, if you recall, it scored like a combined 150 points or something, but there were key critical turnovers at crucial times, right? Defensive touchdowns as well. So it's not always all about points. It's about capitalizing on that moment and having that player in that position to create that fumble, get that interception. And I think there are teams like the Rams and Chiefs and Saints that can certainly do that. I would say the Bears are the only team maybe that can really clamp down through their pass rush, though.
There it is. I echo your sentiments. I've been saying it all week for the last couple of weeks. The Bears are the team that nobody's paying attention to, and obviously they have all the weapons. But last question, Sean, with all the hype coming into the season for these two teams, in your opinion, which team is more disappointing, the Falcons or the Jags?
I'm going to have to go with the Jags there. I really do think, I realize I'm speaking to some Falcons fans right here. I'm not playing to the crowd, but I think the Falcons had their season derailed by injuries early, and they've bounced back somewhat, but that hole was just too deep. Right. The Jags, I mean, it's a classic case of this, and we could see this with the Bears, although I like Trubisky, but even as great as the defense is, you cannot ask that unit to do everything. You're asking for perfection in a league where the offenses are so good, and you're going to ride with Blake Bortles every week. You just need a certain level of minimum competence, and it just isn't there. And eventually, when you're having to bench him and go with Cody Kessler, like bless his heart, but Cody Kessler shouldn't be starting NFL games. So. Yeah, and you have it was so much fun to get in the Jags too, with Ramsey just saying every quarterback is horrible, and that was so great in August, and it's just not there. So, and they spent a lot of money on that defense, and it is, and they're going to have maybe a top 5 pick.
There you have it. We appreciate my man, Mr. Sean Tomlinson. And once again, you can follow him on Twitter at Sean G. Tomlinson. The G stands for Getting No Sleep, since he has a young baby, man. But we want to say congratulations on the on your child. And hey, make sure you come back soon, all right?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good day.
No problem. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hey, this is Gary Payton. Y'all listen to 3 Point Conversion Radio. It's the bomb.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com
or your app store.
What's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the 3 Point Conversion.
Yes, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And here with H.O.
Yeah. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. And we're about to go in to the segment of Is This Really Happening? About to bring in G. Take it away, G.
All right. So this is this really happening, in which we look at some sports stories, some sports related stories at least, and find out if trying to get my camera up.
Oh, you good?
and look at some stuff that's really going on that's a little bit strange, and we'll find out from you two and from the chat room which one is the stranger story. So the first one comes out of Hawaii, in which there was someone involved in some criminal activity, and they have a very interesting name. So there was a man who was convicted of assault in Hawaii. He got into a fight with somebody, may have pulled a knife. But the thing that stuck out is his name, which is Super Bowl. His name is Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Wow.
Super Bowl Akaris.
Super Bowl Akaris.
Yeah, like this is Hawaii.
Okay.
So Super Bowl Akaris is, I believe, he was in a bar fight, and that's what the
fight was about.
It might have been over his name.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
But he got into an argument with another guy, and he used a dangerous instrument to cause bodily injury.
Mm-hmm.
It does not say what that instrument might have been. Could have been a lead pipe, tire iron, or a knife. I don't know. But after he beat up this person, he threatened some innocent bystanders, and then he left the scene, and then he was arrested the next day on suspicion of second-degree assault and first-degree terroristic threats.
Ooh.
So, but what stands out is the name.
So Super Bowl Akari, like, what? I mean, he was at a bar, right? You said.
Yes.
Does he spell it Super Bowl or
Super Bowl, 2 words?
Oh,
yeah, like the game itself.
Right, because you got bowl like BOL.
Did he
bowl and Super Bowl?
And he,
crazy.
that's I just wonder why he named himself. I mean, nothing about him. They said he wasn't a sports fan or nothing like that. Or
no, there's not much information on how he got the name. It's not even clear if it's his birth name, but for this story to get, that had to be on the ID or something. Right. He had to be identified
because he was identified as Super Bowl Akari.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I guess he probably stabbed the dude. Whoever
I might have still that.
Whoever he attacked, he probably attacked them because their name must have been World Series.
Stupid. Super Bowl.
It might have been World Cup.
A World Cup.
Because
exactly.
Super Bowl is fake. It's not football. That's crazy. Super Bowl Akari. That name is dope, though. That name is dope. I don't care what y'all say. That's a dope name.
I hear you.
I would no longer be called Mr. Controversy. I'm going to Super Bowl Akari. That's dope.
You ain't know how to spell Akari.
I know, but I spelled a mess out of it. All right, what else you got?
All right, and the other story comes from the NBA. So we've been talking about Markelle Fultz and kind of the struggles that he's been having. And some people think that his mother may have something to do with it.
Oh, boy. Wow.
I heard about this.
So this is his second season in the league, of course. And during his first season, he has a house in New Jersey, and his mother installed security cameras all over the house and had people sign non-disclosure agreements for unspecified reasons. So I don't know if they saw anything embarrassing, if he slept in a race car bed still, or, if she packs his lunch, or anything like that. So some people think that is her being overprotective may be causing him, anxiety and think that this injury is still more mental than it is physical.
Right.
There was a story that one of his old AAU coaches, who actually worked with him this summer he got drafted, and made tweaks to his jump shot. He said there were tweaks made. There wasn't this complete overhaul as it may have looked. But Markelle Fultz's mother came at that coach, and now they're no longer on speaking terms. And it's someone who had coached Markelle for a long time. So she has the potential to drive people away that have worked with her son. So do you think that, but I think that the security cameras all over the house and the non-disclosure agreements.
I saw this. It's crazy. I just wonder if, she needs to take a page, and maybe Kevin Durant's mother needs to make a video on how to be a mother, be close to your son, but still let him do it, let him do him. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds spooky.
That sounds scary.
Right. It sounds like it's spooky, like really.
Like it's some level of paranoia if it's someone doing it on your behalf, that can make it worse for you.
If they're
paranoid, now I'm paranoid because you're doing stuff for me.
Yeah, non-disclosure. I mean, and I'm pretty sure they have in a nice suburban neighborhood in New Jersey. I wonder if he got beat up one time, and she just as a mother, a parent, you're like very.
Well, there was a story when he was playing at AAU that a teammate's bag was stolen, like all their shoes and clothes were in that bag. So what she did was she got some kind of bicycle lock to secure everyone on the team's bags.
She crazy.
And during one game, the bags weren't secure. So she went up to the coaches during the game, like in the middle of the game, to talk to them about these bags not being secure.
She crazy.
Ooh, I know.
Yeah. She.
This is good. This is PG.
Cuckoo.
I know she is.
Cuckoo. So yeah, the name Super Bowl, very, very interesting. Obviously, is so good. The Raphael probably changed his name. But
I can read.
the cuckoo mom, I just can't imagine going through situations like that.
She bugging, man. She just
how did it say how many people she's ran off out of his life? I know the coach, but has there been any other
any other specific incidents, but not they weren't in the story, but it seemed like this wasn't the first time.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's crazy.
We're gonna go to a break, but I bet you she's the type where he's in a meeting or wherever, and she's there, and she's like, boy, and she reach in her purse, get some tissue, and start wiping his face and all that. And Ma,
right?
That's what it sounds like, man. Like
she even spooked his shoulder.
Yeah, dog. Because so maybe we need to blame Mom for his shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the mom story as the craziest or the weirdest.
And you know what? Forget the Super Bowl part. Yo, this Mr. Controversy Akari. I'm just kicking the Akari. That's all I want. The Akari part. Let me get that, dog. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our stop it moments. We'll be right back.
AM 1100. The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! Oh, it's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It's the 2018 Battlegrounds champion, Damian Adams, from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Now, you can catch my show weekly on the 3-Point Conversion station on Spreaker Radio. But for right now, I'm doing what everybody else should be doing, and that's listening to Mr. Controversy and The Intellectual in the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right. We are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. This is the part of the show where I like to thank everyone who's supporting us and keeping us in your prayers and uplifting us. We appreciate that. And not just the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, but as a company, the 3-Point Conversion, we definitely appreciate that. And it is recognized. And I also want to give a special shout out to a progressive young man. This young man grew up in the barbershop, and now he's making moves. He owns multiple companies and handling business nationwide. And he's getting his haircut right now at the barbershop. I want to give a shout out to my man, Jalen. What up, Jalen? I see you. You don't see me. Hey, bro, we appreciate you, man, for listening to the show. And, just being there supporting not just the show, but the barbershop as well. And your continual patronization of the barbershop. We appreciate that, sir. And now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop, hey. Stop, 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 stop. Stop it! Stop it, stop it.
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
That's on you, H.O.
Yeah, man. Obviously, this should be a stop it for the rest of the year. And my stop it goes out to Stephen A. Smith. Please stick to basketball.
I figured one of y'all would have this,
What
so I got
happened?
the clip ready.
I didn't see it. Yeah, put the clip.
I got the clip ready.
Please play the clip.
Right here.
Spencer
You got your
Ware's out.
linebacker. I'm sorry?
Spencer Ware is out.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I'm sorry,
Out
Max.
with a
I'm sorry.
foot, yeah.
Absolutely, he is out. But I'm thinking Tyreek Hill. I'm thinking Patrick Mahomes. I'm also looking at the San Diego Chargers on offense, and I'm thinking about Hunter Henry and the way that he's played this year and as effective as he's been. He's going up against Derek Johnson, and I got to keep my eyes on that because I'm looking at it from the standpoint. Listen, here's where I'm at with all of this. At the end of the day, I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes.
Wait. He said, when did he say this?
This was
week?
before the Thursday night.
Yeah, it was before the Thursday night.
He said Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry, who tore his ACL.
He hadn't played all year. And said the effectiveness that he's been playing with all year.
Also,
on PlayStation?
There's three things over there. Like, one, Hunter Henry.
Right.
Two, San Diego Chargers. I know that.
But
I'll give him that.
Right.
But third, Derek Johnson was cut in like June. Or May or June.
No.
He's not even playing.
On the team.
No.
Yes.
And if anyone who has seen the video, to look on the faces of Teddy Bruschi and Max Kellerman.
What? Do we have a video? I gotta.
Yeah, it's out there.
I gotta look at it.
It's
We gotta look at this. What were they looking like?
It. Like
Teddy Bruschi is like, what is he talking about?
Yes, like.
And Kellerman is like, did he just say what I think he just said?
Did they call him out on it? They talked to keep going.
Because he mentioned Spencer Ware, but Spencer Ware just got hurt, so he wasn't playing.
Right.
So they gave him that. But when he's mentioned Hunter Henry and how well he's played this year, all the confusion was on their face.
And he can't. I mean,
and he responded later and said, "Oh, I meant to say Virgil Green." No, you did. Virgil Green and Hunter Henry are not in the same league. If you understand what I mean by that,
right? Is there a way? Is there a way we can create a super stop it?
I don't know, but you can give him 5 stoppers though.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Look how they do in church.
Stop it. Stop it.
Stephen A. Smith, please stick to basketball.
Wow.
Bro.
Wow.
Do not ever talk about football again.
Wow.
Your career talking about football
is right.
Is we need to get a sound with the toilet flushing, like it's down the drain. Like
no, we need Jerry Jones. See what Jerry Jones said about it. That's what we need.
That was the biggest. Actually made me feel good when I talk about football.
That's crazy. All right, so this is my stop it. That's crazy. So Joakim Noah, he now is rejuvenated and he has joined the Memphis Grizzlies, right? He came out and said this week that he was too lit. These are his words. He was too lit, or I am too lit. I was too lit for the New York Knicks.
Stop it.
You have
stop it.
Yeah. You
stop it.
Okay, keep right. You have to play. First of all, to be lit. You have to play, and then, bro, you was moving like you was 85 years old. You averaged what, 2 rebounds a game.
Maybe he was lit when he said it.
Maybe him and Stephen A. Smith was lit together when they were hanging out before that.
Stephen A. Smith is a Knicks fan, so they had to have hung out a couple times.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, I was what? Go ahead, G. What you got?
Well, because of the bringing back the "Is This Really Happening" segment, it was probably going to be more about Markelle Fultz's mother and her shenanigans. Since we've exhausted that, then we can.
That's great, but that's Stephen A. Smith saying that. That's embarrassing as a media person, as somebody in the media.
I mean, it's clear that you weren't paying. You're not paying attention, and if there's a sport that you do cover, it's basketball. It's not football. So it's definitely. I mean, to me, it's funny. Media people do make mistakes, and apparently they are completely unattentive.
Wow.
They're not paying attention to anything that's going on, And look, you can't BS your way through
Right.
through analysis.
Maybe his
You gotta do your
researcher,
research.
Right.
or maybe his researchers was on PTO that week.
Right. All right, bro. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Whether it's quick hits, what's on my mind, the infamous Stop It segment, you got to be there every Saturday morning on the 3-Point Conversion station for the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge hosted by Mr. Controversy. Get him!
We are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Bro, I can't get over Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, it's real deal, bro.
Oh man,
it almost kind of, you know how when it's like the stock market failed for media.
It did. That's why
you know what I mean? Like it's like we really, like, people look at the media like we really respect y'all. Huh?
So that
bro, come on,
I
bro.
feel like I need to just go ahead and make a quick video. You know what? The media would like to think everyone who follows us and watches,
Man,
supports
bro,
us.
it's like,
this is crazy, dog. You just, that's wow. All right, so it is time to talk NBA basketball, and this is the NBA shoot-around segment. And first, I want to talk about the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins. If y'all don't know, John Collins, power forward center for Atlanta Hawks /center. And he's been playing some great basketball of late. Last night, he didn't have a great game, but he still had 11 and 14. But for the most part, last 5-6 games, he's been on a tear. Do you think that John Collins is headed towards stardom?
He's almost 18-10. He's 17-7 and with 9 rebounds. Pretty much a double-double every night. The Hawks leading scorer. He's only played 13 games, started 11. I think he's trending up.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think his game, the only person that I can possibly see his game resembling is just maybe like Blake Griffin-ish, without the playmaking ability that Blake kind of brings.
Right.
And so his game is not in the era of what we are accustomed to seeing with the threes, the stretch. Even though he can make a three, Blake can make a three, but it's not as exciting. He's athletic. He can rebound. He does all these things. So because of the way his game is played, I don't know if he will ever get to superstar status, but I think he would get ascend to being a great pick that the Hawks got that can possibly be an all-star.
Right. I think with his game, as you mentioned, you talked about Blake. One thing that he doesn't have that Blake has is a go-to move. And when I say go-to move, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the post, and Blake has a jump shot.
Right.
He can shoot the 15-footer. Now, Collins is working on a three-point shot. Okay. But I think what is great about him is the fact that he's super athletic, but he plays with aggression, and he hustles.
Right.
And I think that when you have that combination, you can be very good because it seems like he's willing to learn. I've been at practice. I know G's been to the practices and shoot around. You see him working on his game continuously, and he's like trying to figure it out, like talking to Vince, you see it. You know what I'm saying? Versus we're just practicing.
Well, he's a guy that is, coming in as an athletic power forward. There's more expected of a power forward in the NBA now. You have to be able to stretch the floor.
Right.
You have to be able to make plays off the dribble, which is, if some player has been brought up, in all the traditional ways, the way the game was played 20 years ago, it can be hard for someone to make that adjustment.
Right.
Basically, you're going to a new league.
Mm-hmm.
You've been taught one way, but now you have to. It's like learning a new language. So I think he's making the adjustment well to spread his game out to the 3-point line. Everyone on the Hawks is practicing their 3-point shot. So just looking for different ways to make the team better. But he's definitely a guy I think the Hawks can build around.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think his mid range is very decent, in my opinion. I think his mid range is very decent. No, he don't have a go to move, but he plays so hard though.
Right.
And I think that's the point that you was trying to make. And he was 2010 coming out of Wake Forest.
And then the fact that he plays with Trae Young will only help him because you have a point guard is willing to get him the ball.
Right.
And make him shine. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
And to add to that, he was coached by Danny Manning, who was considered one of the a great power forward.
Yeah.
In not just college but in the league. And sorry he had to come.
I don't know about great in the NBA, but
yeah, sorry he had to come.
He made the
to
All-Star team once.
Yeah, so he would.
So did Christian Laettner.
Right. So you proving my point. So we'll stick with college, but no.
Yeah.
But speaking of great, right now in the NBA, because the league has made it a point to bulk up scoring, and basically now the game is making all-stars look even greater. So now my question is, with all of these great players in the game, what's a few? But right now you see a lot of great basketball this year so far. Who is the best player in the NBA so far? It's going to come with it. Who do you think is the best player in the NBA?
Wow, that's so subjective. Today, and I will preface it this way, the person who moves the needle and makes everybody a better player. And that's just how, because it's so subjective. So I would say Durant has the most talent.
Mm-hmm.
along with Kawhi. I think LeBron is on the downswing, but if I had to choose today, I would have to go with Kevin Durant.
But the funny thing about LeBron is, and I know it's just not stats, but he's playing with the Lakers, and you say, well, he should have stats, but he's still, it's 28, 7, and 7. Like, to me, it's like he's not slowing down. I don't see LeBron slowing down.
It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that LeBron isn't the best player because he's still playing at a high level right now. I think the criticism with LeBron lies with how his teammates have to play with him, and that can kind of detract from if you want to say he's the best player. But can you be the best player if everyone that you're playing with has to change their game just so you can play yours?
Right. That's a big thing. And like I said, it's so subjective to saying who's the best, this and that, and all this other kind of stuff. The only thing I got against LeBron, we know he's doing 28, 7, and 7, but he shoots 69% from the free throw line.
Right. True.
And as a former guy who played ball, and I shot almost 90% from the free throw line, to me, it's like you are great in the regular season, but then when it comes to certain situations, I can't put you on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Which hence games won last year when he passed the ball to George Hill.
Right.
Instead of making a move, taking a shot, or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to Durant, I think the skill piece of it, Kawhi Leonard is showing that, man, as quiet as kept, pops or no pops, I can do it on both ends. Even Steph Curry, you can throw him in there because it seems like the offense flows better when he's in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like so many players have a case, and there's so many different styles. Look at LeBron plays how Durant plays. Steph Curry opens up the offense.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard makes your team better defensively. Even
Giannis, you got to say Giannis.
Even
Giannis with 44
he can
points
do
last night.
whatever he wants.
Right.
And I told you, you got to put in. I mean, Russell. You got to put Russ in, but
Russell in there.
Harden.
Yeah. Harden, like you can't guard him without fouling him. Apparently, like I think he shot more free throws than made field goals in his career.
And then I think somebody who's stepping into that, about to start to step in this little conversation, is Jokic. What he can do,
man,
he
so
averages
underrated.
7 assists a game.
So underrated.
Well, also you got to include Anthony Davis.
So that's why, and that's why I want to ask. I know we don't have a lot of time because this is
we can do part 1, part 2.
Yeah, this is a big time. But I think it's Kevin Durant though, man. I mean, I think
it's unfair what he does.
Yeah, and one thing, and I'm going to ask him this. I mean, he's not coming back to Atlanta, but maybe I travel to go, watch and cover the game. But with Kevin Durant, he's the only superstar I know that didn't change his game at all. Even though we're in this evolution of 3-point shooting, he always shoot maybe 4 3-pointers a game. He's always been that, but he always plays inside out. Like he always shooting mid range. Hadn't changed at all, and that's incredible.
Well, it's been working. Like who's going to
block
it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's 7-12.
Because what I'm saying is like LeBron has changed his game, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that because that's the evolution of the game. You get better at this, but Anthony Davis shooting more threes, Kawhi shooting more threes, but only other person I say, and I don't think he's the best player that hadn't changed his game, is DeRozan. But other than that, top tier, to see Durant play the way he plays, and he's gotten better on defense. Like, and I think maybe that's why he has the outcry for LeBron and calling him out because he wants to be noticed as the best player.
Yeah.
That's
the only issue you got with KD is might be just a little bit sensitive. Sticks and stone may break my bones, but Twitter will always hurt me.
And that's my dog. Right. And that's maybe that's him and his mom. I don't know. But I'm just saying. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Tell us what you think. You know, we're gonna have to have a part 2 on this. But we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Did you know that the Real 1100 has a Facebook page? Visit facebook.com/Real1100 to keep up with your favorite shows, videos, photos, upcoming events, and more. That's facebook.com/Real1100, giving you more of the real. The real.
Hey, this is Brittany Griner from the Phoenix Mercury, and you listen to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And this next segment, the weekend injury report, is not just based on injuries and that's it, but it's more so if you're a fan of a particular team or player, or you're in fantasy football, especially right now because it's the playoffs, so this is very important. This is the segment where we have Dr. Donald Fowler, orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. He's here to give his take and give his advice on the injuries and why if you're fantasy, if you should play him or not play him, or what you should expect if you're a fan. What's going on, Dr. Fowler? How you doing today?
Hey guys, happy Saturday. I'm doing well. I was doing a little holiday 5K promotional thing out at the Battery earlier this morning, so we had about 2,000 runners come out for it, so it's been a good day so far.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Man, we're going to get right to it.
Okay.
Before we get into the players, I have to ask you this, and as far as the players that actually have a chance of playing, I want to ask you about this injury with Carson Wentz. You know, he has, I think, a stress fracture in his back. Mm-hmm. How serious is this, and will this affect his career?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's serious enough where he's done for the season. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a kind of long-term issue per se. They haven't said a whole lot outside of just it's a stress injury. It is something we see more often than I think most people think in football, but a lot of times it's actually offensive linemen that get these stress fractures in the lower back just from going from the kind of crouched 3-point type stance position to a sudden upright position. That puts a lot of stress on the lower back, but it can happen to other position players too, and it sounds like that's more than likely what kind of happened with Wentz. It's not necessarily just from being hit or anything like that, but I don't think he ever really seemed right kind of completely from the knee, even coming into the season. So in a way, to me, it almost seems like maybe it's a blessing in disguise for him to maybe shut down the rest of the year and hopefully be more of a 100% ready to go for next season. So,
hey, Doc, this is Horace, and shout out to you with the T.Y. Hilton play him in your fantasy last week.
Yeah.
So
he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, absolutely, he did, and I think all the listeners would appreciate that, especially if you was in the playoffs. Great suggestion, and it was. But I'm gonna ask you a question about someone that's not necessarily fantasy related. So I'm gonna throw that out the window first. But LaShawn McCoy, Shady, is questionable with a hamstring injury. Being 4-9, not sure if they even want to play him. But I do have to ask, with a hamstring injury, how is it playing or dealing with a sore hamstring for anybody who has one, especially being a running back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big deal. Somewhat like you said, you're probably not in the fantasy playoffs if you've been riding LaShawn McCoy all season. So hopefully you have better options. But yeah, especially at running back, you need that first step. You need that explosion. Even cutting or slowing down, you see players with a hamstring injury. They're pulling up a little slow. They're trying to get out of bounds. They don't want to absorb any contact, so they're definitely not playing at 100%. So
right.
Hamstrings always worry me, especially if you're a running back or wide receiver. And I think he came out after 2 carries last week, so I would not be very optimistic with his production, to be truthful, assuming if he does play this weekend.
Gotcha. All right, and I'm glad. So don't play him. All right, got you.
Yes.
And once again, we're here live with Dr. Fowler. He's an orthopedic, great orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. Make sure you, if you're in Atlanta, look him up, Dr. Donald Fowler. So that's his first name. But Dr. Fowler, get back to these injuries. Somebody who is dear to Chicago's heart, and me being from Chicago, I'm definitely, I don't forget fantasy right now. With this, I'm listening. I'm asking this because I want to know about tomorrow. I'm a fan. But even for fantasy, Allen Robinson is dealing with a hip injury, and it's bothering him right now. He was limited in practice, and I think he practiced fully on Friday. But how effective can he be running routes with this condition? I mean, you got to move your hips when you're a receiver. Like, can he be effective still?
Yeah, and I think you can. Certainly hips, of course, important joint when you're running, but most of the time if you're talking about a hip or it's like a hip contusion or hip pointer, similar to I think what they were calling with Keenan Allen too, it's kind of a deep bruise in the bone, so it's painful, but there's not, any structural damage. There's not necessarily, a serious risk of doing any kind of permanent damage or making it significantly worse by playing through it. It's just a matter of getting the soreness and inflammation down. So if they're able to do that, I think he will potentially be effective for them tomorrow, but it is something to look out for.
Yes. Go ahead.
All right, Doc. We got Matt Brader and James Conner both nursing ankle injuries this week. Jeff Wilson stepped in fine for San Francisco last week. But with Brader being their leading rusher, they kind of out of the playoffs. Pittsburgh is kind of reeling at this particular point, and obviously some Stephen Ridley chalkboard material trying to get back at the Patriots because they let him go. All those things coming up and things of that nature. But to get back to Brader and Connor with nursing injuries, would you think that they could play this weekend, being able to be productive as they need to be in those games they'll be playing in this week?
Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of take them one at a time. They have similar injuries in a sense. They're calling them more like mid to high ankle sprains. Essentially what that means is kind of injury in the ligaments kind of more above the ankle, kind of that connect to the infibular leg bone. So that is more serious than kind of the common ankle or low ankle sprain, which is kind of down below the ankle joint. That's not as much of an issue for support and stabilization. So it is a more serious injury, and I think in Breida's case, he was dealing with it a lot in October, and now he's kind of re-aggravated it. Like you said, they're out of the playoffs. Wilson was effective the last 2 weeks, and I think he's been practicing this week, all limited sessions. So I think you need to check the report tomorrow. I think he will play. But I think it is going to be a timeshare with Jeff Wilson, certainly for San Francisco. So I guess it depends on what other options you have on your bench. I think you might be able to get 10 points out of him, but I wouldn't necessarily expect a huge game. And then with Connor, like you said, they're more do or die. They pretty much need to win. I think he's only logged one practice so far, so I'm a little more concerned, but if he can play, they're going to trot him out there because if they lose to the Patriots, they're going to have a pretty tough time, even probably getting into the wild card, let alone the division with the Ravens. So I would play. If Connor plays, I would certainly play him. I think they're going to try to ride him if he gets out there, but I would keep an eye on the injury report. So
good deal.
All right. Well, we appreciate you once again, Dr. Fowler. Again, make sure you all look out for him and look him up if you need an orthopedic. He's in the Atlanta area with Ortho Atlanta, Dr. Donald Fowler, that is, who knows the sports and is a Duke fan. Appreciate you, Doc.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your Saturday.
All right, thanks. You too. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for weekend picks. We'll be right back.
What's up, man? It's Metal World Peace. Shout out to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Attention, radio station listener. This might make you say, oh my god. Get this station in 1,500 live stations, plus a custom station you can create all in one. Right now. Download the free app now at iHeartRadio.com. Oh my god.
Hi, I'm Cole Johnson of Cole Sports, and you're checking out the 3-Point Conversion. Keep it locked.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And it is time for our weekend picks. And going to get right to them. Do you have a nosy neighbor watch for NFL?
Yeah. I'm looking at San Diego Chargers.
The Los Angeles
Chargers.
Right.
I'm not Stephen A., but yeah, I'm looking at the Chargers. We talked about Marty Ball, how they were pretty decent, and when they had Natron Means and all this other kind of stuff and things of that nature.
No, Marty Ball, that was with LT.
I apologize, but
you sounded more like Stephen A.
See, that's Stephen A. Smith spirit in this room.
in this room. But the defense, the front four defense is they were doing things to Kansas City that we didn't. It was timing of it. The timing.
Yeah, because it wasn't that they stopped them, but like you said, it was a normal football game. They're a great offense, so they're going to score one drive, but then we need to stop. We can't go down more than 14.
Exactly.
Or we need to stop at the last. Right.
And we saw Phillip make a bonehead interception that could have, derailed the game.
Mm-hmm.
But the nosy neighbors, I want to sit back and watch and see, can they get over those past failures?
Right.
That they had, back in the day. So we want to kind of see that and see how Phillip Rivers really learned that, and that was a helmet hit on Phillip Rivers as well.
Yeah, it was.
So I just want to sit back and see what kind of and Alex and Mr. Coach Lynn got some guts.
Mm-hmm.
So let's sit back and watch and see what the Chargers have they learned how to win.
Right.
That's
I'm with you. My nosy neighbor. Honestly, I guess I'm looking at two things, and I'll make it quick. I'm looking at Tampa Bay because I just want to see how. I'm just nosy to see how the team is responding to Jameis and wonder how he plays, because this can dictate if they keep him or not. And then I got my blinds open or cracked. I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys. It seemed like they didn't play, like, I don't know how this happened, like 8 home games in a row. It just seems like that. And but they're on the road against Indianapolis.
Right.
They won 5 in a row. Now it's like, I want to see, this is a pretty good team. Not saying they hadn't played good teams in Dallas, because they have, but on the road, So just want to see how they respond. And this is, to me, this is really the test. You know, because they're not packing the referees with them this game. So I want to know, are they for real?
I think also has to consider like who they've played, and teams aren't able to. It seems like teams aren't able to run the ball against them right now, and they have the third-ranked rush defense. The Colts have they have Hines and Mack. Is he playing
for the Bears? I'm just kidding.
No, not that.
No, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know because he played sparingly, I think, last week.
So it's gonna
Mack,
if they can make plays, then they'll have a chance. But I think the way that Dallas Stevens has played over the last few weeks, I think that will travel more than the offense.
Right.
But
because defense travels. That's what I say.
The key thing is like give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott, like I said Wednesday. That is the key for Dallas to win the game.
No, I got you. Who's your upset of the week?
I'm gonna actually ride with the Oakland.
You got Oakland beating Cincy?
Yeah. Only because I got,
and they on the road.
Yeah, and I got Jared Cook as my tight end. You know I'm in the playoffs, so I gotta make sure we.
See, I'm gonna let you get away with that because you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, please. But
it's
it's more toward that Cincinnati just
not
deflated.
But look, isn't it? It just seems like right now at this point, anytime you talk about football, fantasy, and I always say I hate that.
Right.
But if you're in the playoffs,
I mean, you happy? I mean, think about it.
You're gonna bring it up.
Yeah. I mean, look,
you bias and everything.
AJ Green is out. They've been deflating ever since. You know, with
they gotta try Driscoll out there.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I'm like, you know, and I don't know if they've been a good when they're a favorite. I think they just not been a good cover team when they're favored. So I think they've been better with being an underdog and by them being favored this week. And I think Gruden has nothing to lose. I just think that they have nothing to lose, and they're actually more together to me than Cincinnati is at this particular point.
I have Indianapolis beating Dallas. I think they're going to be on the road. It's going to be loud in there. And like you're saying, Andrew Luck is playing well. I mean, shoot, Indianapolis have a chance to.
The offensive line is playing with a lot of confidence. They were awful last year.
Yeah.
But drafting Quentin Thomas has been a game changer.
Right. So that's, I got Indianapolis winning. Counterfeit team.
New York Jets.
Just gonna leave it like that.
I mean, they beat Buffalo last week.
Right.
I mean, you know, we just talked about it. They did what Sadie came out after two plays. I mean, you can look at this and say, well, the Jets has done this and done that, but no, they playing against a hot Houston Texans team who probably need to redeem themselves from last week. So don't look for the Jets to do much this week, and don't let the win against the Buffalo Bills and get your hopes up. Jets, nah, you can forget it.
New Orleans Saints is my counterfeit team. I think that they won last week, but they should have lost. You know, and shout out to my boy Patrick. What up, Big Pat? He called me talking about they won, and he wanted to talk mess. Hey, what y'all gonna do against the Bears and all of that? And I'm like, bro, I told him, I said, did you wash your clothes? Did you put your clothes in the washing machine that you sweated all over during the game? Hey, we got some real big news. Quick, I know this is not football related, but Trevor Ariza deal just went through. It just went through, and so the deal is he's going to Washington, and they're trading Austin Rivers and Kelly Oubre to the Suns.
So was it Marshawn Brooks, Dylan Brooks?
So
Brooks
both
brothers?
of them both of them not even in the deal. And that was because, you had Memphis and all of that in there, so they deleted Memphis. So it's just Washington
two-team trade.
And Rivers. That's reported by LA Broaders, so the 3-point conversion insider. So Trevor Ariza is going to the Washington Wizards. Wow. That's going to boost
going
them
back.
Up. Yeah. And I think that's good.
I'm saying he played for Washington before.
Yeah,
so
he's going back. So, right. All right. So, Like I said, that's my counterfeit team. So, G, we ready for the over and unders.
You know how you just have that good feeling for a pick?
Do I feel lucky?
Yeah, that's this segment. It's time for Over Under with The Intellectual and Mr. Controversy, only on the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, so I'll make this as quick as possible with our over under here. So, Josh Allen has been running a lot, quarterback for the Bills. He has more rushing yards in his first 8 starts than Michael Vick. So that's how much he's been running. Even though the Bills don't run any of those BGPs, HO.
Right.
None of those BGPs. Yeah. But he's been averaging 111 rushing yards a game over the last 3 games. He'll be facing the Detroit Lions, who have the 18th ranked run defense. The over-under is set at 47. 47 rushing yards for Josh Allen.
Well, he looked like he's been running for his life the whole season. That's probably why he has a lot of rushing yards. I don't know if Detroit's line posed that kind of threat. So I'm going to go under.
I say over. I think he runs for... He's at home, too. He loves running at home. So I say he runs for 60 today. He gets a long run for like 25.
All right. What was the other? Okay, so in the Falcons-Packers game, the Packers won the game. Joe Philbin used his coach's challenges, both of them in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Did you know that? That was crazy.
So how many challenges will Joe Philbin use in this next game? The over-under is set at 0.5.
Over.
Wait, are we saying for the game or for
the game,
first 2
for
minutes?
the next game?
Oh, it's over. I thought we was doing the first 3 minutes of the
over.
I think he uses 2 in the first 3.
So, it worked.
It would be funny if he wins both of them. If he uses the first 2 minutes, wins both of them, but you only have one for the rest of the game.
He gonna use that in the next 5 minutes. He gonna use all this time, but he gonna win all of them within the first quarter. I got over, man.
What and HO? What do you think?
I say over.
Okay.
Yeah, I say because it worked against the Falcons. Obviously, they won the game, so it may be a trend, a superstition.
All right.
Real quick, I think he used a challenge before he used the second one when he wasn't supposed to. Like it was like a pass deflect, and he threw the challenge out. Somebody should have been a holding call on it.
He has like 5 flags in his pocket,
right,
or in his sock or something. Just go use them. All right, and the last one here, Derrick Henry, 238 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. They have 3 games left. Over under 1 100-yard game for him for the rest of the season. Will he get 100 yards in a game?
Do you know their schedule?
How many? They got 3 games.
They
left?
got 3 games left. So
I would say yes.
They have the. Oh no, they just played the Jaguars.
Yeah, they play Washington next week, and then Tennessee plays the Giants.
Oh yeah, he'll get it.
Week 17.
Say 1 100-yard game.
And who they play?
Right, over under 1.
And they play Indy.
Yeah, over. I say over.
What do you think?
I don't think he gets it.
He won't rush for 100 yards again.
No. When is the last time he had 100 yards before this one?
He ain't rhythm now.
Let's look at his game log really quick.
Yeah, he's in rhythm now. They got to give him the ball.
Man, they've been giving him the ball.
He almost rushed for 100 yards on one play.
This is his only one.
He's been garbage. Let's be real. His
previous high was 58 yards.
That should be the over and under should be how many times is Mr. Controversy going to call him garbage for the rest of this year? Is he going to make all 3 weeks as being garbage? Because he's been garbage all. He just had a breakout game. Got lucky. They didn't want to tackle him. Be real. Even though I said that was one of the best runs, I thought it was. garbage. No, I'm just playing. He hasn't. I don't think he gets 100 yards. I don't even think he gets over 70 yards in any of the games coming up.
Boy, you tough on the man.
He averaging what, 30 yards a game?
She said 58.
That's his high for the year.
No, that's his high for the year.
I thought we was going to commercial, though. I figured we was going to get off.
We're going to try to hurry and slide it in. We're going to take a quick break. And we'll be right back.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones of Sucker Free Life Double LC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-point conversion, with no team or no players off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
You're back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. Hey, by popular demand, I've been hearing about Battlegrounds. I promise we're bringing it back. We are, like I said, we're going to do it differently. We're going to have it where you're going against myself. So we're bringing it back, probably starting next week. So we're back. Now, this segment, What's on My Mind, is brought to you by Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see, because everyone can be sucker free. Make sure you purchase your apparel today on Facebook.com/Sucker Free Life LLC. Now, this segment is What's on My Mind. This is where we get to vent and talk about what's going on, what we thinking about in the sports world, what we don't understand, what we like, what we don't like, whatever. This is what's on my mind. I was going to talk about the Chicago Bears, and I wanted to talk about them, you know, as far as what we've done. Now everybody's trying to jump on a bandwagon, which we really don't want. But I want to talk about Phillip Rivers. I had a discussion today, a great discussion, and I've heard this from many people. A lot of people say that Phillip Rivers, he can't win the big game. He throws a costly interception when it counts, and I can't disagree. But at the same time, I feel like the reason why you see him excelling now is, first of all, it's not all on him, but who has he played with within the last 4 or 5 years? Everybody want to bring up LT and all that. I get it, but that was Marty Ball. Run the ball, run the ball. I mean, you think about what this man has done. You remember the year when he went to the AFC Championship game and he played with a torn ACL, but LaDainian Tomlinson sitting on the bench because he got a stomach ache. Then you look at the years when he had no one, he was throwing for all them yards. Who did he have, though? What player? Can you name a player from that era 4 or 5 years ago? The last 5-6 years? Not only that, Phillip Rivers doesn't kick field goals. How many games has he lost when he drove him down to the end and they missed the field goal? You know? So, but you look at it, this year, the team is strong. Running backs, receivers, defense, a head coach And now with Rivers, he's starting to make plays. He trusts his players now. And I think we finally get to see what he's capable of. Yeah, in the early years he had that, but to me, I blame that on Marty Ball. Marty Schottenheimer hadn't won anything, and that's probably why, because of his coaching style, and he nuts up at the end. How many times have he lost close games at the end in playoffs? Whole career. But look at now who Phillip has. He's always compared to his class with Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning. They won because they had the right coach, and they've had a lot of talent. Well, this is probably the first year where you have the right coach and with talent, and now you're starting to see it. They're 11-3, tied for the best record in the AFC. He's playing out his mind. That throw was sick with 4th and 8 to Benjamin. And I think y'all should get off Phillip Rivers and just enjoy and watch. This might be the year that he make it there. That's what's on my mind.
There he is.
He said he is.
My man.
Yeah. That's it.
So it was kind of cool to obviously you talk about football. Figured you was gonna talk about the Bears, but I don't think you want to jinx them. I talked about them enough on Wednesday, so you should be good. I want to talk about my team, Atlanta Falcons. And you've been hearing all kind of reports about there may be some coaching changes made at the end of the season and things of that nature. And there's been some reports that the Falcons could go all in on Gary Kubiak, who is a 4-time Super Bowl champion. The guru of the play-action offense that the Falcons and Matt Ryan has been in for the last 3 years. Even the head coach of Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning, the dead arm Peyton Manning when they won the Super Bowl. And my whole thing is, why now go all in when you could have went all in 2 years ago when Shanahan left? Then another report comes up saying Mike LaFleur could possibly be another option to bring him back, but you had him under contract the year Shanahan left. Sometimes I think we just outthink ourselves. You're making this too difficult. You have an explosive offensive team. You know nothing about offense, Dan Quinn. You borrowed an offensive idea from someone. You let him go. Well, he left. So who's there to nurture the offense if you don't know anything about it? It's mind-boggling. So why don't you hire a person that understands and knows about the offense that you're trying to run, instead of hiring a guy that has no NFL play calling experience and has no idea about the offense that he's running? Sometimes simplicity is best. And most times, simplicity is best. Don't overthink this. It's as simple as that. Go out and get Kubiak, and let's make another run.
Man, that'd be big if he did. Big, and
that's what's on my mind.
You're right. Yeah, I think he just decided that he thought that because he has the players that will supersede, coaching, and It can.
This is not a computer. This is not plug and play.
No, it's not. You got to play. It's right. You got to play. Not Madden.
Exactly.
Anyway, you hear this music. You already know what that means. It is time to let you go. But before we let you go, we have some shout-outs, and it could be you. So please stick for them. First, I want to thank the Almighty God for giving me this opportunity, giving me this platform to speak what I speak, talk sports to make you upset, mad, want to give me the stop it button, all of that. Hey, God, I appreciate you. I thank you. Also, I want to give a...
Thank you, Raphael.
I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Sucker Free Life LLC and Cindy Cuts Barbershop. We appreciate you all, man. Thank you for the support. I want to thank my special guest and Sean Thomason, NFL analyst from Bleacher Report. Also want to thank our reoccurring guest. I guess he's not a guest, not anymore, but Dr. Donald Fowler, orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. We appreciate you. And I want to thank my engineer, G, and my co-host, H.O.
Yeah. Thanks to the big man above. Appreciate that. Allow me to get down here, even though it's dreary outside. Appreciate everybody on the 3-Point Conversion Facebook page who's tuning in and listening, especially Snoop Dogg's cousin, who gave us that report. About the trade in the NBA, so we want to make sure we shout out to the Brothers and the Brothers family. Shout out Snoop! Shout out to G, always making these things happen for us, man. Always keeping that thing tight. And if you want to continue to listen to more sports talk radio, please check out Sports Roundtable Wednesday, 7 to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will continue to bring you what you need, man. And shout out to you, Ralph, for always believing me, coming out the bullpen. I haven't counted my saves. I'm going to probably wait till the end of the season and see if I can probably get an extension. You know, I'm going to kind of put that on the resume. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for a Craig Kimball record.
Hey, I hear you, man. I'm actually trying to get my first appearance, but like I said, on Wednesday nights I'll be at home. So also I want to thank
we called for you. We called the dugout phone. We have your music ready.
He didn't have his head turned this time, bro.
No, man. No, I want to thank my family, my friends, my beautiful wife, children, auntie, cousins, nephew, nieces, grandparents, sisters, brothers, play cousins. Eat good this weekend. Love family. Let family know that you love them. Enjoy sports. Some good stuff going on. We got NFL football. Celebration Bowl is today. Check that out. It's about to go on right now. Basketball. Does Canelo fight tonight? Canelo fights tonight. I'll probably be watching that. And go watch some Chicago Bears. Go Bears! Until then, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Until then, will you miss me? I'm out. Peace!
Holla.
You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.